a second. Okay? I want you to imagine that you've decided to go on a study abroad trip. And after a long flight, a train ride, and going on the subway, you walk up the stairs and you see this. This is just some of the things you can experience and see when you study abroad. Last winter, I went on a study abroad trip to both Germany and to France, and this led me to the fact of, I believe students should study abroad because they can gain personal development, lasting memories, and it's a chance to experience different cultures. So here's just, all my images are from my trip. These are all the ones I took. So you've got this one's the Residence Museum in Germany. Over there is Oscar Wilde's grave in Paris. And we also have the Mona Lisa. So jumping into personal development, for me, in Europe, it was an amazing experience, and I got to see just how different culture is. For example, they talk very quietly in restaurants. In any location, it is not a madhouse. For example, this is a photo of the outside of Shakespeare and Company in Paris, which is a bookstore. So most of you have probably been into a Barnes & Noble or some sort of bookstore, and all you can hear is the loud conversations of everyone. But in here, it was almost dead silent. You were able to explore and look at all the books. I was able to find both Pride and Prejudice in English and French. I do not speak French, but I wanted one in French because I was in Paris, why not? And I also was able to find Dracula. But I was able to find these without the loud noise of people. In a study done by Chad Lowe's, they were questioning students about cognitive development. So I think it was about 120 students, and some of them had studied abroad, some of them hadn't. And so they looked at cognitive development, intellectual development, and found that students who had studied abroad they showed much higher levels of those developments than students who hadn't. So in another study for some lasting memories, and a study done by Anne Conboy, this experiment was very similar, but she had quotes from her, the students she questioned, and a student reported that her life felt more centered and wholesome, that she gets more enjoyment out of everyday things. That is 100% true. While I was studying abroad, these are just a couple of my favorite memories. So I got to go to the Eiffel Tower. I got to go all the way to the top, even though it was cold, it was raining, it was windy, but I was getting to do something I wanted to do my whole life. And so that was one of my favorite days of that whole trip. This is the castle in Germany called Neuschwanstein, I believe is how you pronounce it. I might be wrong. It's a bit of it. But that has been my computer lock screen for years. And then my professor was like, hey, I'm doing this study abroad trip. We're gonna go here. And I'm like, yes. I also got to go to the Louvre. It was also raining while I was waiting outside, but it's all inside, so we were fine. Here's another picture of the castle. From here, it kind of looks small, but it's not. Here's a photo of me by the door, just for a bit of size comparison, because I'm 5'5". So I'm not that tall, but seeing how big the castle was, in comparison, if you don't know, that is the castle that it's rumored that Walt Disney based the California Disney Castle off of. Moving into experiencing different cultures. Let's talk about tipping for a second. In Europe, their servers are paid a livable wage. Tipping is not a very common thing. The most you do usually is round up the dollar. But, so I might have over-tipped a little sometimes. But another interesting thing that was different about European culture was the act of paying. In Europe, you have to wave your server down. We learned that the very first day in Germany the hard way of sitting there for 20 minutes waiting for the server to bring our check. but he did not come. It took us seeing the table next to us of a German couple waving the server down for us to realize, oh wait, they don't come pester you here about, here's your check, do you want to pay? They don't do that over there. They let you enjoy your meal. Another one that I wanted to point out about experiencing a different culture is this image here. If you don't know, this is the Arc de Triomphe. But I want you to look at the road. The Arc de Triomphe is in the middle of a roundabout. It is a brick road with no lanes. Probably about 4 lanes big. Everyone knows exactly where to be though. Like even if you look, there's a bus here. Like they know where to be, when to be there. In a study done by Jane Bowler, she found that students who had studied abroad had a better understanding of cultures. And I think it's because of this stuff. Because you look at their culture is very different. Whether it be the quietness or the traffic, or even the fact that there was a lot of walking area. You can walk basically anywhere. It was really nice to not have to jump in a car every single time we wanted to go 3 blocks. But in conclusion, going on a study abroad trip is a wonderful experience everyone should do at least once. Because it helps your personal development, creates lasting memories, and allows you to experience different cultures. Now, you may be wondering, okay, you've convinced me. How do I go on a study abroad trip? So here's a link to the EKU website. There's quite a few steps to going on a study abroad, but this is kind of like a brief summary. So you're going to want to find a program that you like. I took a travel writing course because I'm an English major, and I thought, that sounds fun. It's a different style of writing than what I'm used to. But it was really fun. So you find a program that you're interested in, go to that website, apply. Once you're accepted, apply on the EKU website. Then you're going to attend orientation for both your trip and for EKU. EKU's is more broad, where your trip's one, and one of the professors that went on the trip's words, don't bring up World War II in Germany. But they talk about that kind of stuff of, don't bring up France surrendering in France, those kinds of things. Which, it may sound boring, but it was actually pretty fun. So after you attend the orientation, enjoy the trip. Just enjoy the adventure. This was one of the photos I took on the way to Nordschleife, which, if you don't know, it's at the very south border of Germany. So we were actually basically in the Swiss Alps. Yeah. Thank you.